In this episode, I wanted to show you a quick and easy way of serving web content via Python's simple HTTP server and HTTP server modules. This can be really useful for quickly sharing files or testing website content via a browser to systems on your network. We're going to cover how to do this in both Python 2 and 3 since the syntax is slightly different. Let's start with a Python 2 example. Say we're sitting in a directory and we want to serve the contents of that directory, maybe locally or over the network, so someone can view the directory via their browser. How would you do that? Well, we could install Apache or Nginx, but a really simple and less permanent way is using Python at the command line. Let's go split screen here for a minute, with the browser in the top, and then in the bottom we'll have a terminal window. As you can see, I have a file called moo.html in a directory /home jwe34. Now I want to serve this directory out over the network so people can access it. Let's run python-m simplehttpserver. And as you will see, it says it's serving this directory out. And the 0000 here means that it's listening on all network interfaces. This might be a good or bad thing, just something to be aware of. And then if you're sharing something, anyone who can access your machine potentially has access to these files. Then over here, we see that it's listening on port 8000. Let's jump up to the browser and test this out by going to localhost:8000. As you can see, we're serving the directory out, and it corresponds to the directory down here. We can then just click on this link and see the file contents. It's as easy as that. Then down in the terminal, you can see that it's giving us logging data about who's accessing the site and what they're looking at. My personal use case is that I want to quickly and easily share files that I download with other computers on my network. For example, if I just downloaded something and want to share it with someone who cannot use SCP or say rsync but has access to a web browser. You can also remove the ability to list directory contents by renaming the file from moo.html to index.html. In addition to that, we can also change the port the server is listening on by adding an additional argument. Then let's start the server and test it out. Now you can see it's listening on port 1234. Let's head back to the browser and try it out. And as you can see, we're no longer getting the directory listing, and it's listening on the new port, so it's working as we expected. In this example, we focused on Python 2 since it's what I'm running on my desktop. However, newer distributions are shipping Python version 3, so let's look at those commands for a minute. I should mention that I've included links to the documentation for both Python 2 and 3 along with the commands used in this episode in the episode notes below. For Python 3, we just need to modify the command a little bit using http.server. Adding a port is the same via the additional argument. And as of Python version 3.4, you can now use the bind option. This allows you to bind the server to a specific IP address. Hopefully this adds some additional security so that, say, your server isn't wide open on the internet. Okay, so hopefully next time you need to share a directory with someone over the network, Python might come to the rescue. Alright, that concludes this episode. Thanks for watching. If you would like to get notified about future episodes, please subscribe to my mailing list. You can do this by going to the Get Notified link in the header and entering your email address. Have questions, comments, or concerns about this episode? What about episode ideas? I'd love to hear your feedback, either good or bad. Shoot me an email, justin@sysadmincasts.com.